Welcome everybody to what is a historic location. We're sitting in the reader's room inside the author's lounge of the Mandarin Oriental Hotel in Bangkok, Thailand. Some of the world's most famous authors have sat in this very room, including Tolstoy, Dostoevsky, Conrad, Zola, Victor Hugo and Hemingway. It really is a special place. I'm not sure whether we'll produce a piece of historic literature today, but what I hope is we'll get some fascinating insight onto HP and its channel strategy. Over the last week or so, we've been talking to the channel partners and encouraging them to ask questions of what we should ask to HP. More than 120 channel partners submitted questions. We've drilled down that list to around 10, and we're now going to have the chance to open these questions to one of the most recognizable faces in business, Meg Whitman, the President and CEO of HP. Welcome to the Canalys Channels Forum.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. It's quite a room, you're right, and quite a hotel. And I'm delighted to be back in Asia. I try to get here 2 or 3 times a year because it's such an important region for Hewlett-Packard and obviously our channel partners. So I'm delighted to be back here. And I've not been to Thailand since I was 23 years old, so it's great to be back.
And that was surely only 3 or 4 years ago, I guess.
Just a few years, yes.
Okay, I'm going to start by opening question, one submitted by one of our partners about HP and Invent. It used to be in your logo. You used to have a reputation as a technology leadership company. I guess this partner feels you've rather lost that image over the last few years. What are you doing to regain it, and what are you investing in R&D to achieve that goal?
You're right. I mean, so one of the things that I really focused on when I came to HP, and I've been here for about 2 years, was getting back our momentum in terms of innovation and being a thought leader in the industry. And that is, of course, in HP's DNA. That is who we are. But I think through the changes at the top and the board drama and other things, you know, our R&D engineers were still inventing, but because the company's strategy was changing, I'm not sure they quite knew what was to be commercialized and what was not. So we've really focused now on increasing our R&D spend, focusing our R&D spend, and you can see it already. You can see it in products like Moonshot, 3PAR, Store Once, you know, our Gen 8 ProLiant server. You can see it on our new Split X2 laptops, Ink in the Office. So you're starting to see what you know and love about HP coming back strong.
And there's more in the future to come?
There is a lot more in the future to come. I mean, one of the things I did when I came to HP is I went to our R&D labs and to HP labs, and I said, what do you got? And it was amazing what they had. You know, part of the rap on HP is that innovation was not where it should be. Actually, innovation was alive and well. We just needed to get it commercialized faster in a more coherent way for our partners.
Okay, well, it brings us on to the next question, which came from Estonia. They've asked, what will be the major value offered by HP in 3 years' time? Will it be superb products, services, or both?
Well, I'd say it will really be on solutions. You know, I think the market's moving. I mean, we're seeing some of the biggest changes in technology that I've seen in my career. I bet you have seen in your career. Everything is changing about how technology is bought, how it's paid for, how it's consumed, how end users interact with that technology, how applications are written. And so I think what all our channel partners tell me is their customers want solutions. And so we're working hard to deliver on the promise of converged infrastructure. 3PAR is the next generation of storage that helps all kinds of storage problems. As you know, the amount of information that needs to be stored is escalating dramatically. We can't do it the way we've always done it. So we're really focusing on trying to provide, you know, state-of-the-art products, but wrapped in a solution that our partners can resell easily.
Very good. Okay, and then moving on, different part of the world, to Greece, a systems integrator there. We have the question, HP seems to be putting many eggs in the SDN basket. Is software-defined networking the core technology that HP will focus on? And what else will come to define the software-defined data center?
So we're very much focused on software-defined networking, and that's because we're the disruptor in the networking business. You know, there's a big competitor out there who has a very high percentage of market share and very high gross margins, by the way, as well. So we're coming in as the disruptor. And obviously one of the big trends is, in fact, software-defined networking and how you actually put smarts into what are sort of previously, if you will, you know, dumb pipes. And of course, we don't have the innovator's dilemma at work. We can just go right to what I think the future is going to be in terms of software defining how this is all done. So we're pretty excited about it, and many people would tell you that we're ahead, and I think it's a real opportunity for our partners.
And that's an open standards-based solution?
Yes, it is. Yes, it's an open standards-based solution, and we're running to the future there. We're excited about it.
Okay, very good. And now we'll move on to Austria, where I'll ask the question that'll be very topical in Europe in particular right now, around whether HP will set up data centers in individual countries as part of your HP Cloud Services offering.
So the answer is yes, and we've done most of it already, because what we know from doing business in Europe, and frankly in most countries around the world, is you've got to have a data center in that country for data sovereignty issues, data privacy issues. And so in 2012, we invested about $125 million into data centers in the major countries in Europe and the major countries in Asia. And that comes out of our enterprise services group. That can be used for virtual private cloud, whatever. And then, of course, our enterprise cloud services, which is our public cloud that competes with Amazon Web Services for the enterprise. We're actually building out installations of HP Cloud Services around the globe as well, because you're right, you've got to be in country.
Okay, we're now moving on to a different part of the world again, Indonesia, a systems integrator there. A simple question, but quite a complex answer, I suspect. What is the positioning of HP compared with Cisco and IBM?
So I guess if you think broadly about our company, I suppose we compete most with IBM because they are a relatively broad-based technology company. But our point of difference is we're about the only company left now that goes from the devices to infrastructure to software and to services, and delivers as much as we can of all those products through the channel. So our breadth is our strength. And people say to me all the time, are you sure you're not fighting fires on too many fronts? Are you sure you're not too broad-based? And my view is it is our point of difference. And increasingly, our channel partners are looking to do business with a smaller number of vendors. They want solutions from one vendor, so there is one throat to choke. And so I think this is a real difference versus IBM, who's largely become a software and services company. Cisco, I would say, they are really a one-product company. They're a networking company, and boy, they've done an incredible job over many years. Now they're trying to branch out into servers and other areas, and of course, we've been the leader in servers for years and years and years. So we have to now take our assets in servers, storage, networking, and package those together in a way that our channel partners can easily resell, particularly to the small business market.
Thank you, Meg. That's a really great answer. We're now moving topics to talk about client computing, a question that came in from India, a distributor there, asking about mobility, and particularly how mobility is pitched now to all business customers. This distributor feels HP hasn't really made any entry into mobility services or devices. Will HP ever play catch up in the mobility space, or will it wait and watch?
Well, I'd break mobility into a couple of areas. First is the devices, and you will see us, and you have seen us, do a multi-OS, multi-operating system, multi-architecture strategy. So while we love our Windows franchise and our Intel franchise, the market is requiring that we deliver Android, Chrome, as well as ARM chips and chips from other manufacturers. So we're embracing that. And you see that in our new Chromebook, our Chromebook we call 11. You can see it on an Android tablet that we did earlier this year. And you'll see us come out with a new line of tablets primarily focused on the commercial segment, which I think is underrepresented relative to the consumer segment. Everyone and his cousin is chasing the consumer segment with tablets as low as $49, out of Shenzhen, China. That probably isn't the part of the market that we're going to participate in, but we think that we have a real value add in terms of the commercial segment. So we will be in mobility. And then, of course, we have a series of mobility services. So our wireless LAN product and networking is what every company requires to manage BYOD. Our enterprise services business obviously has a mobile device management strategy. So it's the devices, but it's also the services that we can help partners resell.
And our next question ties in perfectly with that. From the Philippines, a retailer in the Philippines, they asked specifically about your relationship to Google, whether this is a strong commitment or a fad, whether it's just an angry response to Microsoft and the launch of Surfaces. So your commitment to the Android and Chrome platforms?
Well, we're very committed to both Android and Chrome. It is part of the way the world is going. Listen, there's many, many businesses and individuals that will stick with Windows. Gosh, in most big enterprises, they're going to be on Windows for a long time because so many of their apps were written, on Windows. So we remain committed to the Windows franchise, but we have to be on Android and Chrome. And here's what I'm seeing, and our partners are taking advantage of this, which is enterprises now of all sizes are trying to segment their worker groups to say, all right, if I've got call center folks, maybe I can service them with a VDI installation. If I've got a sales team, maybe that sales team, all of them don't need Windows compatibility, in which case we could equip them with a tablet that runs Android. And the reason, of course, Android and Chrome is so attractive is it's much less expensive. And so, we're trying to have the full array of portfolio that could be managed through one mobile device management system, but we would be able to provide a spectrum of devices for an enterprise to most carefully match up that device to that worker group, which of course lowers the overall total cost to the enterprise.
Although the cost of Android is low, the upfront cost, some people would say it lacks the security to be an enterprise class product today.
Yes, and I think that is true to some degree, and we're working very hard to harden Android to utilize our security products, our long time experience in the enterprise with devices to provide security. Because I think this trend is inevitable. So we need to get ahead of that and help our partners deliver a solution to their customers that allow them to take advantage of these new operating systems and frankly, new form factors.
And then it's through security on Android that you can differentiate HP products against other Android
yes,
products.
through security and also manageability. Yeah. And also, listen, sometimes, a lot of these devices, if something happens, you can't replace the screen, you can't replace the CPU. Most of our devices are built such that if something happens to the screen or the CPU, you can open the device and actually fix it, which is a real point of difference versus some of our other competitors.
Okay, very good. Now, the next question comes from the UK, a corporate reseller there. They ask, where and how do you see software fitting into HP's strategy going forwards?
Well, software is an important business for us, but we don't envision a day where we become a software company because 70% of our revenues comes from hardware, a fact we're really proud of. Yeah. I think we do it better than anyone else in the world, so we are incredibly committed to our hardware businesses. But here's one of the trends, is increasingly the software layer often differentiates the hardware, so it's important for us to be a strong software company in as much as it makes our hardware, I think, more valuable to our customers. But we also have a very nice software business. It's about a $4 billion business. If we were a software company, we'd be the 6th largest software company in the world. So ArcSight, Tipping Point, Fortify, Vertica, Autonomy, our IT performance management suite, very important parts of who we are as a company and frankly, a real opportunity for our channel partners.
Which brings me perfectly to the next question. A system integrator now in the UK, probably a little bit frustrated they try to sell software and hardware from HP, but they find that there's a different channel strategy, and they're asking whether if there are plans to bring that together to make it easier for a channel partner to sell across that portfolio.
So there is a plan, and we have just actually really focused on the channel for software in about the last year. And so what we want to do is enable channel partners to sell software as distinct from hardware, but also create bundles that channel partners could sell almost, if you will, the bundle would have server, storage, networking, and software orchestration, monitoring, as well as application lifecycle management built into that bundle. Now, we want people to do it the way they think their customers need, so we don't want to be dogmatic about it, but we do want these to be brought together with a common platform, a common compensation program for the channel as well, so that we reward channel partners who do more with HP.
And is there a deadline for when the partners may see that come together?
Yeah, I think you'll see, certainly with PartnerOne, which is our new partner program that we're rolling out right now, our partners will be rewarded for the more business they do with HP, the more they can earn, and software will just stack up like everything else. So you'll see that, and then you'll see the bundles start to come a little bit later in the year in a more organized and programmatic way than you have in the past.
Very good, okay. Now moving to Switzerland, we had a question from a distributor there. They've asked about HP's renewed channel commitment. What, Meg, do you want to see from channel partners? How could they become winning partners with HP?
Well, first of all, we've got a lot of work to do, and we've been doing that work. First of all, we had to make it easier to do business with HP. We had to make our channel and our DISTI compensation program much simpler to understand. In May, we started paying people from first dollar, so there's no gates, no caps, and a lot more simple in terms of, the number of programs and the number of things that we offered. So that's the first thing. And then from the partners, we'd like those partners to pick out the areas that they want to specialize in. We want them to get certified, train all their inside sales reps to sell HP in a differentiated way, and really become, as they have been for many years, but sort of re-up their partnership with us in a two-way dialogue. And we'll say, hey, here's the real benefits of 3PAR. This is why this is such a great product for the next generation of technology. Here's why networking is a better value for our partners and customers. And then they turn around and make the investments in HP networking, in HP storage, in our converged infrastructure, in our printing franchise or our PC franchise. So I think it's we've really done a good reset, I think, over the last couple of years. HP, I think we were a channel-focused company. Then I think prior to me, we sort of walked away a bit. But I will tell you, we are back full on. This is a company that has been built with channel partners for 75 years. I mean, this is part of our DNA. So we're just going back to our roots in many ways.
And I think that really encompasses the next question. I think you've touched on this anyway. But HP used to be the most channel-friendly company in the IT industry. This comes from India, by the way. They're asking, is there anything concrete proposed by HP to reclaim that distinction of being the most channel-friendly company?
Well, first, as I said, we have to be easier to do business with. So, for example, there won't be different contracts for the different divisions that we have. There will be one HP program across the globe and across businesses, which is very different. We've made it simpler. As I said, you get paid from $1, no gates, no caps. The more you do with us, the more you can earn. And we're working very hard to make sure that we've got great channel coverage. So whether that is with our partner business manager, making sure we have the pre-sales specialists, assigned to the partners. These are becoming increasingly technical sales. Mm-hmm. And so we've got to make sure that the partners have resources from HP that when they go to their customers and they encounter a knotty technology problem, they know who to turn to. So those are the kinds of things we're doing. And I would be surprised if we don't see pretty big change in improved sentiment towards HP in the channel over the next 6 to 12 months. We're putting a lot of effort about it. We are pivoting to the channel. We're taking many direct customers and handing them back to the channel. We are really, what I have said to our organization, when in doubt, let the channel take that sale.
Very good. And do you think you'll see that speed of transformation around the world simultaneously? Or will we see it happen first in the US maybe and then take quite a long time to reach places like India?
Yeah. I've been impressed with the scale and complexity that we deal with at HP. Mm-hmm. This is a $120 billion company, effectively 5 major lines of business. We deal with about 150,000 VARs and distributors around the world. So I think, in the major markets, you'll start, and I would say that India is a major market for us, but I think in the top, 40 countries, you'll see that quite quickly. If you were talking to a partner in Jordan or, someplace like that, it may be a little bit slower, but we aim to get it around the world as fast as we possibly can. Our regions are fully engaged in this. In fact, I'm here, as we said, in Thailand. I did a country review of our Thai business. And they're out explaining to the Thai VARs and the Thai distributors the new HP.
Good. And the Thai review went well?
It did, yeah. Yeah, they're doing a good job here. This is a growth market in Thailand. And I think, the gateway in many ways to Indochina. So it's an exciting time, actually, for our team in Thailand.
And I think that's a good note to finish on. So thank you very much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this video and we'll keep in touch.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.